ears.
You don't have ears? Oh,
Hey, there we go.
My black hole wasn't running.
Ah, a black hole.
There's some video for you too.
Yeah.
Hey, just woke up
Hey.
like this.
That is a sweet backdrop.
It's real too. Look.
Whee! Yeah. Or the best AI tool you have.
Someone accused me the other day of this being a fake backdrop. It's like, come on, man. They're real books. Haven't read
then,
any of them, but they're real.
A cat knocks something down, but it just keeps looping. You said you were standing by, and I was a little concerned considering your condition.
Oh, that's a lie. I was sitting by.
Good. I
Definitely
ran once I
sitting
saw
by.
that.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Hey, man. I like the stash. Cheeky stash. Oh, that's a bit much.
Very
Come
itchy.
on.
Very
I
itchy.
haven't had breakfast.
Sorry, making you nauseous. Boy.
Yeah. Are we recording? Should we clap? 3, 2, 1. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Missed a
How are you
week
doing?
there.
Yeah.
I'm all right. Yeah. I am all right. The recovery from broken leg ankle surgery is going okay, I think. I don't have anything to compare it to, but it's slow and painful, and the drugs sometimes work and sometimes they don't. And
Yeah.
I think the biggest win actually has been in the couple of days after I came home from hospital. It was quite, next level pain. And Laura came home with a TENS machine. Do you know what a TENS machine is? TENS. We use them. Laura used them in labour for both kids, and they're like a sort of electronic nerve stimulator, and they can act as a pain blocker.
Yep.
And that's been bloody fantastic.
I thought you were going to say it was like a game system, like some Australian game system I'd never heard of. And I was like, well, this sounds fun. Is it like, do you count to 10?
New console, yeah. You wind up the dial to 10 and squirm. But yeah, no, things are going all right. I just parked on the couch or in bed.
Yeah.
Trying to be as useful as I can for the guys at work. But generally not feeling very useful.
Yeah. But still feeling sane. I'm assuming the pain kind of knocks down the desire to go make stuff.
Yeah. Sure does.
Well, you need that. I know what you need. You need virtual reality goggles. You're stuck on your couch.
That would be fantastic right now. No one else is here. VR goggles would be a dream.
Just got these really immersive headphones on, and your family comes home, and they're just there for an hour, and you have no idea. You're just.
It's lucky I don't live in the city anymore, actually, because we can't get anything delivered here. If we could get delivery here, I'd be sitting here online ordering all sorts of fun things. But no, I'm restricted. How are you going? What's news?
Oh, good. Pretty good. I launched a new Laguna Dust boot basically today, but last night I sent an email out. It's been slow, but people seem interested. I'm still always getting used to the speed of business purchases is not consumer purchases. And, it's you bring it up to your boss or whatever, it takes a week, or I don't even know what the system is. Yeah. So it's, interesting. It should be probably famous last words. It should be one of the easiest launches of product we've ever done, because it's a thing we've been making. It's actually simplified in terms of manufacturing and assembly. And what's kind of fun about it is it has these wing plates on the side that are bolted on, and the wing plates attached to pneumatic lifter piston things, kind of like yours had, I think, right?
Yeah, that had pistons, yep.
Yeah, so they seem to have variation in where those lay and align, so we can change those plates out to fit all sorts of different types like that. Like I have somebody that's in New Zealand that's interested in this version for a Chinese-made machine that very similar with a new plate, and then you've adapted for a new machine basically, which is kind of crazy how simple that feels right now.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And have you got someone, like I've seen a video of one on a Laguna, have you got someone helping you with sort of testing, proofing it out?
Yeah, we've had 2 local shops. Actually, one of them approached me about it and said, you've been making for Shop Savers. We have this Laguna machine, specifically the Smart Shop 2 with it's like basically the same spindle we have, right? It's like an ES951, which is like the same, it's like got a couple different things. I don't know. It's very similar. And just those pistons basically that change things in a certain way and need them for their tool changing. So we've been working with 2 shops to test it, which is different than last time. And I'm feeling smart for having done that this time rather than only testing it in our own shop. And
yeah, sure.
It gives more opportunity. Like that there was no major problems for both of them testing it kind of feels odd. Like, you sure nothing broke? Or like, can something break so I feel a little bit better so it doesn't break when other people get it? Like,
yeah.
But it's just gone really smooth, which I guess I'm kind of attributing some of that to that we had a year of dealing with things with the first one. So, yeah.
Has it been a year?
Yeah, it has.
It's baby pants a year old already.
May when we started selling them, which feels crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not singing happy birthday to some baby pants.
Went from basically one physical product to like, we've been averaging like 9 new things a month lately, which I mean, they're all not custom things, but they're like tool holders and collets and some of the stuff where you resell.
Yeah, fantastic. Awesome.
What's new? Is there anything in like Butterland that you're aware of, or are we pretty tuned out?
No, I'm trying to be tuned in where I can. I've got a couple of sort of big ticket projects that are due like next week while I'm still going to be couch bound. And the main one is the marketing plan for the coming sort of 6 months. I need to actually finish. I've had a draft marketing plan in Airtable for over a year, but it's the classic issue of like creating a plan but then not actually using it on a daily basis. So it becomes pretty redundant quickly. So I'm trying to rebuild that and build it in such a way that it's more collaborative. We're going to have different people in there and it actually functions as a daily, scheduling, social media scheduling and content creation scheduling tool. But that'll rely on me actually using it like that. So, yeah, I don't know.
So you built this whole like base or table for that specifically?
Yeah, it's a whole base in Airtable. It's been like that for a while, but yeah, it relies on me actually using the tool. So I keep flip-flopping. I'm like, I could just do a marketing plan that is just like a static document that outlines what I'm planning to do and what I'm spending money on. Or I could do something much more interactive and sort of functional. So I'm not quite sure what's going to work better for me. But I think if I can force myself to use it, the structure of a daily sort of smart table base will be good. So yeah, fiddling with that. Been good. Doing a little bit of prototyping work on the Bamboo, which is just sitting on the piano over there. I'd like it
sitting to my right.
I wish it was just to my right, but I can't lift it in my current condition, so that's where it's staying for now. But I've been printing a bunch of fun little things like cable management clips.
Yeah, those are cool.
For kit parts and trying to come up with like a little clip-on door system for kit parts as well. So making like little clip-on hinges.
Yeah.
That just like wrap around the dowel and act as a hinge. So that's some of the first carbon fiber infused bamboo printing that I've done. Came out all right. They seem like very tough little parts. The print quality is pretty nice.
Would you make these out of something else, or are you thinking that's a production system you would use?
I don't know much about this carbon fiber PA. Do you? The bamboo proprietary one?
I'm a little afraid of... I've seen a lot of conflicting things about whether it's safe, whether it's fine, in terms of the little fiber going airborne, basically, and it kind of being like asbestos, basically.
Yuck.
Not after it's printed, but in printing, I think, is the biggest concern.
Yeah, wow. Okay, interesting.
I don't know. So I just haven't dug into it yet. I get afraid. I'm like, I don't really want to mess with it yet. So, but maybe that's silly.
I have to say, when Laura was printing, like literally 24/7, like 24-hour cycles, 7 days a week, her studio was like, delicious. What is that?
Right.
What
was she printing?
Smell? It was just PLA, but I didn't realize that the bamboo has an air filter in it. Did you? Laura says it does.
It's a carbon filter. I don't think it will filter any. That's part of the concern, I think, there's a whole discussion at one point I was reading through of, like, you should probably have a HEPA filter. They don't actually have HEPA filters, at least in the States, the ones we get. So people put them on the outside. Okay. So I was going to print a little one and put it on the outside before I started doing that. Even with seemingly ABS also has really fine particulates that come out too.
Interesting.
And, but seemingly PLA, PETG are not as concerning or aren't concerning. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's cool. It's fun. I've wanted to try it for the quality potential of like how nice and strong the carbon fiber stuff could be.
Seems pretty tough. Here, we'll do a live demo. See if I can break this little part. Snap.
Oh, wow. Took a lot, though.
Yeah, it's pretty flexible. Like, that's a 2mm wall section.
You could do that with
it's quite
injection molded ABS, though, too, probably.
Make this part. Yeah.
To break it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, true. Yeah, so it's not crazy strong, but...
You're probably all over this already, but you'll find, I'm sure you've caught this, but like the direction of your print lines matter a huge amount in strength.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Cool. Those are fun.
Yeah. Otherwise, what am I working on? Don't know, just trying to keep the daily content moving as best I can. Which is, it's frustrating not being able to shoot new stuff.
Right.
I did. Next week is school holidays. I'll have Alba home all week, home alone. I was like, what can we do at home? So I was picturing doing some mad schemes where I stay on the couch and she just takes our kit apart and pulls it apart or something. But
marketing.
So I don't know. Content creation is stalled, obviously, which means I'm relying heavily on the back catalogue of stuff that I've shot. And
sure.
I'm suffering from my poor file management at the moment of just where is that? Where are those video files from that shoot? Can't find them.
Oh, that's hard. That's so hard.
But yeah, trying to sort of recycle what I can and hopefully not bore people too much with my nonsense. But
people don't see the same thing, right? Like you told me that all the time. It's like you can keep reposting the same video and it's like, your same very close group of people may know it, but
yeah,
it's hard to. It's not how the internet works anymore.
Yeah,
basically.
How's your marketing game going?
It's okay. Yeah, it's going all right. I was just talking about that with a friend over. I just met up with, chatting some business stuff, and that's obviously the thing I need to be doing right now is just sales and marketing. And I was kind of just saying, I was like, I know, but I also don't know, what is that? My version of that is making social media things. Maybe in like an old school sense, it would be like trying to cold call shops that need dust boot. You know, it's like if I'm trying to sell products, like what is that? What does that look like? I was following up on some of the kind of like leads of people that said they were interested in the Laguna dust boot today. But yeah, well, one of the weirdest things about this product that I need to just go, I think, to probably those people that helped us test it. And like, I didn't film anything or shoot video with the intent of using it to like sell the product, really. It was kind of like, it works. Do I need to change anything, you know, photos and videos? And now it's like, oh, well, I never got anything of it going up and down. It's kind of like a key factor of like that works fine to people. Whereas when it's your own machine, you just walk out and take another video. For me, anyway.
Yeah. So can you get back to those shops and shoot more?
Yeah,
Is that going to be an option?
I haven't actually been to the one, but yeah, the other one's always been super open.
Yeah, cool.
Probably because I keep bringing them new things that improve their machine. So maybe I'll do the Ted Lasso and just bring some biscuits.
That's right. Keep those biscuits coming.
Yeah. Have any advice for? You seem to be all over the sales and marketing plan. You have any thoughts on how to do it better?
We're about to implement a referral program of some sort, so that any existing customer who refers us to a friend, we'll issue a discount code to that existing customer as just a little thank you for referring us.
Nice.
So it's not that the new person has to buy anything. It's just like we need to see a lead, basically.
Oh, wow.
It's like if, so we had an example of this recently where an existing like custom joinery customer, I got on the phone to them actually. I followed up with them. I was like, how's your joinery going? How's life? We had a good chat. And then she, off the bat, I didn't even ask her. She was like, oh, I've been telling my friends about you guys, helping spread the word. And I was like, oh, thank you. That's really kind. And then a week later, we had a lead for a new job from someone.
Wow.
And I recognized the suburb. I was like, I reckon I know where this lead's come from. And sure, I followed up. I was like, yeah, sure enough. It was from that client that I'd called.
Nice.
And so we just, sent her like a permanent discount code on our website. It's just like, thanks. So we're trying to sort of work out a structure of how to implement that and roll it out across the board and sort of put it out there, from the start as a sort of incentive of like, hey, if you tell your friends, we'll make it worth your while. So working on that as a way of sort of finding new people and getting more leads.
Yeah. Huh.
And trying to work our mailing list a bit harder, a bit more in a more structured way as well. Like our new plan is to try and do a weekly EDM mail out.
Right.
And actually plan it ahead. Like this week we're going to do this topic and this week we're going to do this topic, and then actually work towards that instead of our previous approach, which is so like ad hoc.
Hey, email. Yeah, that's how I do it.
Oh. So yeah, which that all feeds back into the marketing plan. So I'd love to get to a point, I think, where my like content is more structured as well. Mm-hmm. Kind of like what I talked about on the last episode of like actually wanting to plan what I'm making, or script things. Not necessarily for a scripted delivery, but in terms of like, am I actually saying what I want to say, and am I talking about what our core focus is, and am I talking to who our core audience is and things like that. A bit more structured, more planned. So yeah, hopefully this marketing plan can kind of sort of drive all of that forward in a useful way. Yeah. And then, once the kind of the wooziness of these weird drugs wears off, hopefully I haven't been making my sales calls this last week
Sure.
because I've felt pretty weird the whole time.
Just say really weird things to potential customers.
Yeah, how are those sales calls going, Jim? Oh, great. We've had some amazing conversations.
You just sound like a drunk guy from the 40s.
Hi, it's Jim.
Do you like wood? I gotta make wood stuff.
Yeah. Had an interesting little reflection earlier this week off the back of my broken leg. I think, a big reason why it broke in the moment was because I'd been ignoring my body's signals, like persistent ankle pain and discomfort. I was like, my ankle was in a weakened state and I was still training on it. And, I was getting a sort of repetitive strain thing where like every week I'd train and be like, often it'd be like, I'd tweak it a little bit and it'd be sore. I'd be like, and then it'd get better over a few days and then I'd keep training on it. And I was doing that every week and kind of just sweeping it under the carpet, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that earlier in the week and then, had this tiny little fall and it just went because there wasn't support. There wasn't the support there that it needed to be resilient, leading to this much bigger problem. And I was reflecting on how that sort of relates to business things and trying to think about like what are the like little ankle sprains that I'm ignoring in my business. What am I sweeping under the rug and ignoring because it's too hard or too annoying to deal with?
Right.
That could lead to much bigger issues. Anyway, I won't go into the ideas I've had there, but it was interesting to sort of reflect on that, explore some ideas.
Yeesh. Like both of my spindles that I hear noises that I'm like, don't like those noises. Those seem different.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's a good example. I told you what the technician said about our spindle after I crashed it, right? Like,
just run it till it dies, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a not uncommon thing.
Because he was like, it could die tomorrow. It could take years. Like, just run it.
Yeah. At least it's not. At least neither of ours are 2 Camrys worth of cost, as Grimswell coined his current replacement, which is terrifying. That's like it's like one of my machines, at least.
Bloody hell.
Depending on where you're buying that Camry.
Wow.
I mean, when it makes $16,000 a day, like in tools, like roughly, like if each of their knives is $1,000, like you're making what, a dozen of them, machine a dozen a day at least.
Yeah.
You would think.
Wild.
I've done quite a bit of work. I just thought of this.
Yeah.
Revamping. We've been using this plugin called Simple Bundles for Shopify. And it basically allows you to do like assemblies. And the product then, what you show on the website is typically the assembly. And then you have a bunch of SKUs or like single item things that you can update the quantity of. So for example, for now 2 dust boots that we have top plates as a SKU, and then we have bottom plates. And the bottom plates can be used in both, which is nice, and the spacers. So when you go to buy now a Laguna dust boot, you have a Laguna top plate, you have separate wing plates, you have one of 2 bottom brush plates, and they combine and then get put onto, for us it's important, onto the shipping like packing slip, so that you get the right stuff in the box. And we've been going through a lot of stuff. I've been going through a lot of stuff. We've been talking about it too, about like because it was kind of tough to go from 6 months of pre-orders where we had set that up, but things kept changing with the pedestals. So almost every packing list was wrong. by the time we go to ship them, like significantly, in terms of counts of things, if they didn't change, or like the size of certain dowel. It's just like everything was wrong. So it was like, all right, slowly let's fix that. And now we've got it to the place of like, we include some of the hardware, like the Allen wrenches, hex keys to install stuff. And it's like, depending on certain selections now, that's included on the shipping list too. It's like things that like are very specific, and they're kept in inventory so that we know how many. Like, it'll tell us you can sell a 16 position pedestal with these features, and you have all those pieces in inventory. It's like kind of cool. And at the end, it should save us a lot of trouble on missing things in boxes to people, which is, I don't know, tough, I guess, to get to ramp up, to get right. I'm assuming you deal with some of that too.
Sure do. Yeah. Yeah, Jay's built quite a complex thing in Airtable that does the equivalent of that function, where they build out each product is sort of built out with a list of parts that is then talks to Shopify somehow and spits out an order sheet with all the items on it. Hung up for ages on it. It could only, like, if someone bought a clip crate, it would say, it would give the part count for the sides and say 8 clips.
Right.
But if someone ordered 2 clip crates, it would kind of just duplicate that data. And so you'd have 8 clips for the first one and 8 clips for the second one, but it wouldn't tally and say, make sure there's 16 clips in the box. So it meant that the person packing had to manually, do some maths and add them up. Anyway, is when Jay built that, they asked around. I think they even posted on Upwork maybe and sort of asked for some help on how to code that better so that it could do those additions sort of in process.
Like concatenation or something?
Yeah, concatenation, and only just learnt that word the other day. Anyway, the answer was no, like the too hard basket. Anyway, since the arrival... GPT. And because Jay's a bloody GPT banshee and can code a bit, it's meant that their coding skills been like seriously upgraded. And so Jay's just like gone ahead and worked it out now using GPT-4.
Yeah.
And now we have that code that counts things up. It's awesome.
I just used it today for a couple things that previously took me like a long time to figure out through like asking forums and Airtables. Like Airtable, I was particularly, it's very simple, but I was making a thing so that that forum I told you about, where like you can ask for a quote on certain products that we have and get it, like formalized, versus like some stuff we just don't have on our site, especially a lot of technical stuff. And so I built it in that fill out tool. It goes into Airtable, and then I was having a way so I could like make quotes with it through like Zapier, and I needed to split first and last names so that they go into the right categories, and that was very tricky to figure out before. And I did it in like 30 seconds in GPT. I was like, I have this field, I want them split into names, and I made it way better. I was like, what if they also have a middle name? I want that to be included with the first name, instead of like splitting it weird and putting it in the wrong side. And it's like, all right, I've included it so that now they can have 5 names, and they will all split correctly into first name, last name. I mean, it's not correct. I could have it continue to fix it, but for what I needed it to do, it was like, it took like 30 seconds, and I was just laughing, thinking, what happens when like, like you're talking about Jay being more advanced, and it's like, I don't really know. I kind of vaguely understand what it did, but I don't read it. I don't really care what it says. Like, are we getting into this place? Does it matter that we don't know what it's doing? Or is that just code in general? Do we care? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
it
awesome.
works really well, very quickly. So I don't know.
And where did you plug that function into? Into fill out or into
just a formula in Airtable for like
Airtable formula? Yeah.
It was previously just name, and quotient once it is split. I was like, oh man.
Awesome. That's cool.
What's new in Software Corner?
We also missed this.
And now, this week in ChatGPT.
Excellent.
We'll play that. That was for last session.
Previous, yeah. Now I've forgotten what I was going to say. Have
Software
you seen
Corner.
the new list? Have you seen the new list view in Airtable? Have you played with that?
A new feature I don't have.
New feature. I'll send you a video.
Oh.
It's just a new view option that looks really sweet.
List.
And when I watched the little demo video that I've just sent you, my brain was just like, tick, 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 tick. Yes, let's just start again. I want to build
do you
our
use it
whole
for?
Airtable again. It doesn't look like much when you just open it and have a crack at it. But if you watch that little video, it's like, oh yeah, this is powerful. So that's fun. It gave me some
Interesting.
ideas. How we can
What are
drive
your
things a bit
ideas? Because
better.
I without watching the video, I'm not connecting like when I would
Yeah.
do it. It's interesting. It's like it's a checklist basically. When you open it up in a view, it's just like all the things with a checkbox next to it. I'm like, what do I do with that?
Yeah, no, I think my limited understanding of it is it could be really powerful. You know, something we've always struggled with in Airtable is we have our projects, as individual listings, and then in the what field, it's like we have just like text with checkboxes, say.
Yep.
But it looks like it could be quite a powerful function for having each project having sort of stages, more clear sort of distinct stages within it that are a bit smarter and more detailed than just having a lump of text of what the job entails.
Oh, sure, yeah. Interesting. I already basically do this with a checkbox system for we have like tasks with each project for the job shop, and then that associates through an automation to toggle the status. So maybe that simplifies that, I guess.
Toggling the status of a checkbox in a text field.
So if the checkbox is checked, it makes it done. So
Do
you
you
can
mean
track.
you mean a checkbox as like in a column in Airtable? Yeah.
Basically, like maybe a better version of that, but you used to not be able to do that in any way.
You can create, I think it just means you can create sort of much deeper hierarchy. So you can have a project and then subtasks within that more powerfully than what I feel like you can do at the moment. But anyway,
Sure.
check out the vid.
Cool.
Looks good. I've also switched to using Loom instead of bloody Descript has been causing our whole team grief lately. Screen recordings, like, because we use it quite heavily for, like, Aaron in sales will do a screen recording to hand over to production, and then production will do a handover video to hand over to the machinist. And everyone's having real issues with Descript, like crashing or not uploading videos properly. And so we started using this app called Loom, which you can install in Slack and just start a recording through a Slack command, which is kind of cool. And basically it works in the same way. It seems to have sort of transcript functionality, like that one I sent you the other day. It obviously took the transcript and then used AI to try and sort of summarize it. I noticed after I'd sent it to you, it sent to like this weird AI summary of what I'd talked about.
Yeah,
which I didn't realize it was doing, but...
You know what's funny is I watched it on my phone and I got zero interface. It was just a video that pulled up. So I didn't even, like I saw the link was Loom, but I didn't. It was helpful.
Yeah. Oh, that was the Midjourney stuff.
I assume?
No, I'm just using a free plan at the moment. See how that goes.
Yeah, Descript was kind of groundbreaking to start, but I feel like we've lamented probably more privately that it was really crappy to use for a while, like for podcast editing, and we figured out if we went back to the classic mode, it worked much better, but it was almost like unusable on my 2021 MacBook M1, and I was like, this seems silly for like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, they didn't respond very well to my feedback thoughts.
Did they respond?
Yeah, I got the like
Yeah.
canned response, like, we appreciate
okay.
your, and I was like, okay, well, thanks. The other thing in Airtable we had talked about, which I had not tried, is the percentage as a progress bar, which is kind of cool. I don't know what I'd use that for at this moment, but you could like automate, I suppose, like statuses as percentage bars. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I like that idea because we use like sort of a Gantt chart for our production planning. If we could somehow integrate that into our sort of production planning Gantt view, that could be kind of useful.
Do something with like you have like budgetable hours or something, and if you're tracking the hours, you could probably pretty easily automate like how close you are to that. It's a good visual versus not.
Yeah, at the moment we're tracking, all our hour tracking is done in Xero Projects, which I'd love to connect, either get rid of Xero Projects or connect Xero Projects to Airtable somehow, which I think Jay has got on their like GPT code development list. Another project, but that'd be sweet if people's hours came into Airtable as they were working on projects and you could see the status updated. That'd be sweet. Yeah.
I got a weird other software corner thing. I don't know if you deal with this anymore. Have you switched over to Google Analytics 4?
Yeah.
They've been bugging me for 6 months, and I don't know why. Usually I'm like, all right, let's just do it, and I do it right away on those kind of things. And like this has felt like, I think I tried it and it was like, oh, this is not as simple as I thought it would. I think it would be like one click and it would be done. But you literally have to go change, wherever you've installed the link, the analytic thing, the whatever their code is. And I think the craziest part about this to me, for a company that's like all data and wants to track everything, you lose all of your old data from your old Universal Analytics. And I find that to be mind-boggling. It's just gone. Like they recommend you export it. Like all of my sales history for all of my company stuff is gone until today when I switched it over. And I don't understand, like, why. I want to see historical trends. Like, why would I want that?
Yeah, good point.
So I've been resisting, hoping there was some answer to that, but there really isn't.
Not that I know of. Like, since I know we've done the transfer. I'm pretty sure Jay did it, but I haven't used it much at all since then. But that's a good point. I'm pretty sure we would have lost that as well.
It's still all there, and they say they don't have a date for when it's going away yet, but that they recommend exporting it. I just read it today because it's just gonna sunset, I guess. But like, why isn't it merged in some way? I don't know databases and all that stuff, but like, it doesn't seem that hard for all the problems in the world. Like, they don't want it to exist anymore. Maybe it's like a way that they can monetize it in a certain way that's not restricted by some laws or something if it's in a different system. It's my cynical view.
Like us wanting a fresh start with Airtable. They just want to build a new system.
They want a new base.
Data. Yeah, new base. Come on.
They'll charge us for the data.
Yeah, I think my final thought on the marketing game is it's been really interesting over the last week. We've been doing a bit of a push on clip crates, which are basically a loss leader product for us. Like, they make little to no money. And we realized that we had a whole bunch of them in stock. Like, we were sitting on quite a lot of inventory, and at the end of financial year, we wanted to clear that. It was like, cool. All right, let's do a little marketing push on clip crates. So we've been doing that, and over the last week, and people have bought crates, quite a few, which is great. But it's meant that we're landing way more people to their website, and they're buying other stuff as well. Like, our sales have been really healthy over the last 7 days. like unusually healthy all of a sudden, and it sort of really does coincide with just this little marketing push on a low value product. And I feel like it's just that increased traffic and a bit of just of a prompt for people who are already aware of us, who maybe have been thinking about getting something. It's like it just gets them back to the website. So that's been, it's super interesting to observe.
It makes a lot of sense because it is, like, if you dig into the psychology of that, it's like, oh, I do need something to organize my vinyl. And then they're like already buying some stuff, and maybe you've incentivized like a certain shipping thing where some, they're just there.
Mm.
And so they're like, what else should I buy that I've been wanting? And on that note, one thing that I've found to be really successful for us so far is this upsell and cross-sell plugin, where like basically I'm trying to basically add it to like every product, and you can do it as like a blanket upsell thing, but it's like right before you pick your variants, and underneath that there's upsells or cross-sells, I think they call them, and I can pick whichever ones those are for certain reasonings, and it really freaking works. And if you think of it from both sides, like we want higher purchase cards, right? I want higher cards, and the customer wants easy solutions, like we just added ducting, and it's right below buying the dust boot. Like you don't have to go find it. You check a box, you get ducting with your dust boot. You didn't have to go find it. You may have not even remembered that you needed ducting until you saw it, right? Is like my theory. So like that little upsell thing has really been helping us.
Yeah,
I think it's very useful. It's free.
And it's just a standard Shopify app.
It is it's by Sell Easy. I'll put a link here.
Is that the thing that's creating the frequently bought together option on your website?
No, there's two versions. If it's like way down on the left, that's a different one. That's a frequently bought together. I can also have it say that, but I can change for every version. I can have it say something different, which is kind of cool.
Oh, really? So the others often bought on the right hand side, is that the upsell?
Yes. Yep.
Sick. That's quite native looking and nice. Yeah, cool.
It took like zero setup, which is crazy. You can choose where it gets landed, if it's like before the add to cart, after.
Cool.
For example, we were having a lot of weird trouble with, I was trying to figure out how to make it as more streamlined to do the pedestals. And some people don't need the little Z probe stand that holds the touch probe. And so I made a version that's like, it says need a Z probe stand. And then you can choose which one and just add that separately, instead of it being a variant. So it took like 20 options out of my variant tree, which was a nightmare to keep track of, right? And all those different bundles, like I was telling you about, of hardware and stuff. So it just kind of simplified that significantly. I found a lot of cool uses for it so far.
That's awesome. Can I ask you a technical question?
Yes.
On your dust boot page, you've got like the variants, like different mounts and ports and whatever. Then you've got the CNC machine field where the user can enter their own data.
Yep.
How did you get that field on there?
Called King Options. It's another plugin.
Another plugin.
And
bloody hell.
Lots of plugins. Awesome. But they don't modify anything. Like they're just tacked on.
That's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I can give you that one. I think that one's free too. Those are absolutely amazing. Like I found that saved us a lot of pain with our duct tower, the thing that holds up the ducting. We kept having people order and then it wouldn't work with their machine because they'd have a slightly different configuration. And so now you have to pick. We have all these kind of like options where it's like basically make you confirm that you understand or that you're not ordering the wrong thing on accident. It just saves us both time. And so there's just all these cool different ways you can use those things to like, with a little like tooltips or like click and show an image. And I've enjoyed
the tooltip stuff is cool.
Process.
Super cool.
I'll find that.
Yes, please.
I know our Shopify audience is just loving this.
Yeah. So exciting. I know.
Were you by chance recording yourself when you hurt yourself?
No, it was not.
That's probably good, huh?
Listen.
Just for like not having to like deal with that data later.
No, it was such like, yeah, it wasn't doing anything high stakes that I would have been recording. It was just a little stumble trip. Yeah.
Like immediately knew something was wrong, I assume.
I immediately knew I couldn't walk on it. I thought it was a bad sprain. I drove myself home. I drove through I went to a drive-through. I was about 40 minutes from home, and I had to walk back to the car. That was painful. And then drove to a drive-through Macca's and bought a cup of ice and just like tipped it down my sock and then kept driving. And then, yeah, it wasn't until the next day that I had an x-ray and they're like, oh yeah, it's broken in 2 places. Turns out it was broken in 3 places. I was like,
Did you walk on it?
yeah, I had to get back to the car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy that the body can just like handle that. You know, like
I know,
I'm sure it
isn't
was
it?
incredibly painful, but still.
Yeah. Okay. Wild.
This upsell app is called LB Upsell as its URL.
Perfect. I'll take it.
Oh, my last Shopify thing. We started dropping in the installation guides to products as digital downloads. So when it ships, actually it'll send it first, like right away as an email. You'll get the product obviously when it comes in the mail, and made a page that is just for a kind of a directory of guides. And so you can just kind of go there if you like, it's kind of linked in different places.
Great. Nice.
Lots of little upgrades lately. Trying to make a
Yeah.
more seamless experience.
Awesome. Sounds good. Sounds good. I know Jay wants to build out stuff like that using Notion, like little published pages, user guides, stuff like that, and then link it to orders.
Are you starting to use that?
Yeah. We've Jay's demonstrated its functionality and everyone's on board. And yeah, it's kind of one of Jay's projects now to roll that out. It's not on the top of the priority list, but it's something we want to get going.
So that instead of Gorgias?
No, instead
what you're
of,
using?
wow, everything's still in Airtable in terms of our sort of standard operating procedures and all of that is in Airtable. And then user guides are like a real mixed bag of PDFs and web pages on Shopify and things like that. So yeah, Notion looks fantastic. I'm keen to get into it.
Don't tease me. I don't need a new thing.
No, I know you don't. You've got a great thing going on with
Gotta sell.
Sal. Go sell some stuff.
Sell.
Yeah,
I gotta
exactly.
think for that somewhere.
I don't want to sell anything, buy anything, or process anything. It's a career.
Good soundbite. Nice.
That's a good one.
Oh, daddy. Oh, dear. Cool, man.
You secretly hate me for that one, don't you?
Yeah.
You
Just
just say, stop playing it.
Where did you get such a clean recording of my voice anyway?
I don't know. Had your wife capture it. I don't know if we don't have like 120 hours of content to capture from.
Well, happy episode 60.
60.
Cheers.
That should probably be like a year in like a perfect world. 60 sounds nice, not 52.
Justin's going to change the calendar.
Well, I've made a few, but
Yeah.
haven't changed the dates functionally. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
feel better.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Yeah. Glad to catch up.
See you on the flip side. Ciao.
Bye. The new like real-time data, like I'm always kind of watching that. I find that super fascinating.
I should be looking at this, but I have not. Oh, this property will stop processing. Oh, that must be the old one.